So I'd like to explain a concept to you guys that might be a little tricky to understand, and it can work from both directions. And it's a concept of synchronized simulation. I want you to imagine that our Earth is not a simulation. Like, this is base reality. But I want you to imagine that science is somewhat right about the world being holographic. Holographic's a bad word for it. Just kind of imagine that it's all being projected from the quantum realm, from quantum data, though. I want you to imagine that projection from the quantum realm is like a signal. And just for the sake of understanding the concept, I want you to imagine that you could technically tap into that signal using science, like an antenna or a dish. There's some stories online about it. If you've ever read the Mandela Effect, whistleblower scientist stuff on 4chan, 8chan, the Jabberwocky array, same kind of concept. But what I want you to imagine is that, imagine a group of scientists tapping into that signal, the signal that's actually constructing the Earth. And that signal will be wrapped in another signal that's constructing the solar system, and then another one that's the galaxy. But we're worried about Earth here. And just for sake of argument, I like to call it the 432 Hertz signal, whether it is or not, just the way I refer to it. Imagine, though, that you could tap into that signal and create a simulated version of the data that the quantum realm is projecting to create the reality we exist in. So basically, you could create a real-time simulation of the Earth as the Earth is manifesting itself. If you ever read the 4chan post I was just referencing, it claims that they did that, which is a story, I get it. Or it could be true, but who knows. But the story is that when they started making changes in the simulation, those changes actually got made in the real world. That's something I can explain, and that's the idea of an entangled, synchronized simulation. So imagine if you were to tap into that signal and create a simulated Earth like that, an echo universe, basically. The same thing that was in Kill Switch, except obviously the duplicate matter theory thing was bullshit. Imagine that when you take that data from the signal, that it's just naturally by default entangled. So the simulation that you create with that data is naturally entangled with the actual simulation of the real world, which the real world is not a simulation. It runs very much like one, is the only point I try to make. It's not a simulation, so don't think I'm saying that. But now what I want you to imagine is, there can't be any... There's two camps of thinking. That we either exist in a multiverse, and if that's true, there's no way to ever really test it, because you can't get data outside of your universe, you can't communicate with one. The best you could do is mathematically infer it. But then the other side is that there is no multiverse. There's nothing outside of our universe. The universe is everything, and the universe is all. And there can't be anything outside of that. Now this is where this idea gets fun. With a synchronized simulation, it doesn't matter which one is true, because the synchronized simulation lets you interact with either version, regardless of which one is true. I tend to think of the multiverse like imaginary numbers, as it's unactualized. But what you can do here is, imagine we are just the only universe. This reality is all there is. There's nothing beyond our space-time. Our space-time is it. There's nothing outside of it. It's all of it. It's everything. Even if that's true, we could still create basically an echo simulation, a simulated Earth, and we can put that into a digital multiverse that exists within our universe. And now take that same concept, if we really are in a multiverse, then we're just simulating the multiverse that's out there, and we're mapping the correct ones that would be there. But my point is, a multiverse existing in a universe where there can't be anything outside of the universe, that's how it happens. If we were to take the data from the quantum realm that's projecting our holographic reality and use that same data to project an entangled simulated virtual reality, we can put that virtual reality echo Earth into a digital multiverse that we've created. And if our digital echo Earth is entangled with the real Earth, by proxy, we've actually put our real universe into a multiverse via entanglement in our own VR creation. So that's one of the concepts I'd like to point out to people with this stuff, that it can work either way. And like I said, if there is a multiverse, then it actually provides us a way to communicate with that multiverse that really has no way to be communicated with, because you do it digitally through virtualization. And you would assume that that other... Basically, if you were to actually... The only way to actually communicate with another universe in the multiverse, if it is real, is you would have to simulate a multiverse, use AI to then map out which ones of those simulations were actually likely to be actual real representations of real universes in the multiverse, stable ones. And then you would have to find ones that were also doing the same thing. And basically what you're doing is you'd be two civilizations in different universes that would be communicating through a virtualization process of simulating each other. I'll stop there, but I mainly wanted to point out the concept of that synchronized simulation reality. And I'm not saying there is a signal like that, it's just a really good way to think about it. That if there is no multiverse, we're going to make it. And something like a singularity and all this stuff that we're talking about that might be coming soon would actually be able to actualize that digital virtual multiverse into a kind of an inspanded type of cyberspace-time that functioned just like our space-time. So it would be like having universes inside of universes for real. But I'm going to end it there. I just wanted to do a quick, brief explanation of what a synchronized simulation by having a real universe that's not in a multiverse be entangled and inside of a digital multiverse. I think that's a pretty amazing concept if you can actually wrap your head around it. Alright, signing off.